Risotto has always been one of my favorite dishes to order at restaurants, but I never thought to try making it at home. That is, until I stumbled upon a simple and creamy risotto recipe that promised to be just as delicious as the ones I've had in fancy Italian eateries. The first step was to gather all the necessary ingredients: arborio rice, chicken or vegetable broth, butter, onion, garlic, white wine, Parmesan cheese, and salt and pepper. I made sure to have everything on hand before starting the cooking process, as risotto requires constant attention and stirring. I began by heating up the broth in a saucepan over low heat, keeping it warm throughout the cooking process. In a separate large skillet, I melted some butter and sautéed finely chopped onion until it was translucent. Then, I added minced garlic and cooked it until fragrant. Next, I poured in the arborio rice and stirred it constantly for a few minutes until it was lightly toasted. This step helps to bring out the nutty flavor of the rice and ensures that each grain will be perfectly cooked in the end. Once the rice was toasted, I poured in a splash of white wine and stirred until it was absorbed. This step adds a depth of flavor to the risotto and helps to deglaze the pan, picking up any browned bits from the bottom. From there, I began adding the warm broth to the rice, one ladleful at a time, stirring constantly until each addition was absorbed. This slow and steady process allows the rice to release its starches, creating that creamy texture that risotto is known for. As I continued to stir and add broth, the rice gradually became plump and tender, with a slight bite to it. I seasoned the risotto with salt and pepper to taste, adjusting as needed throughout the cooking process. Finally, when the rice was cooked to perfection, I stirred in a generous amount of grated Parmesan cheese, which added a rich and savory flavor to the dish. The cheese melted into the risotto, creating a velvety smooth texture that was simply irresistible. I served the risotto hot, garnished with a sprinkle of additional Parmesan cheese and freshly cracked black pepper. The dish was creamy, comforting, and bursting with flavor, just like the ones I've enjoyed in restaurants. Making risotto at home turned out to be easier than I had anticipated, and the end result was well worth the effort. I was proud to have created such a delicious and satisfying dish from scratch, and I knew that this creamy risotto recipe would become a staple in my cooking repertoire. From that day on, I no longer hesitated to make risotto at home. With a few simple ingredients and a bit of patience, I could enjoy a restaurant-quality dish in the comfort of my own kitchen. And the best part? I could customize the recipe to my liking, adding in different vegetables, proteins, or herbs to create endless variations of this classic Italian dish. Risotto had become more than just a restaurant indulgence for me. It was now a homemade comfort food that I could enjoy anytime I pleased. And with this easy and creamy risotto recipe in my arsenal, I knew that I would be making it again and again for years to come.